Book 2, Chapter 8 of the Lancashire Witches. This recording is in the public domain. Reading by Andy Minter. The Lancashire Witches, a Romance of Pendle Forest, by William Harrison Ainsworth. Book 2, Pendle Forest. Chapter 8 Rough Lee. On returning from their unsuccessful pursuit of James Device, the two Asshetons found Roger Nowell haranguing the hinds, who, on the flight of their leader, would have taken to their heels likewise, if they had not been detained, partly by the energetic efforts of Sparshot and the grooms, and partly by the exhortations and menaces of the magistrate and Holden. As it was, two or three contrived to get away, and fled across the moor, whither the reeve pretended to pursue them, while those left behind were taken sharply to task by Roger Nowell. "Listen to me," he cried, "and take good heed to what I say, for it concerns you nearly. Strange and dreadful things have come under my observation on the way hither. I have seen a whole village stricken as by a plague, a poor pedlar deprived of the use of his limbs and put in peril of his life, and a young maiden, once the pride and ornament of your own village, snatched from a fond father's care, and borne to an untimely grave. These things I have seen with my own eyes, and I am resolved that the perpetrators of these enormities, Mothers Demdike and Chattox, shall be brought to justice. As to you, the deluded victims of the impious hags, I can easily understand why you shut your eyes to their evil doings. Terrified by their threats, you submit to their exactions, and so become their slaves slaves of the bond slaves of Satan. What miserable servitude is this! By so doing, you not only endanger the welfare of your souls, by leaguing with the enemies of heaven, and render yourselves unworthy to be classed with a religious and Christian people, but you place your lives in jeopardy by becoming accessories to the crimes of those great offenders, and render yourselves liable to the punishment with them. Seeing then the imminency of the peril in which you stand, you will do well to avoid it while there is yet time. Nor is this your only risk. Your servitude to Mistress Nutter is equally perilous. What if she be the owner of the land you till and the flocks you tend? You owe her no fealty. She has forfeited all title to your service, and, so far from aiding her, you ought to regard her as a great criminal, whom you are bound to bring to justice. I have now incontestable proofs of her dealing in the black art, and can show that by witchcraft she has altered the face of this country with the intent to rob me of my land." Holden now took up the theme. The finger of Heaven is pointed against such robbery," he cried. "Cursed is he, saith the Scripture, that removeth his neighbour's landmark. And again it is written, Cursed is he that smiteth his neighbour secretly. Both these things hath Mistress Nutter done, and for both she shall incur divine vengeance." "Neither shall she escape that of man," added Roger Nowell, severely, "for our sovereign lord hath enacted that all persons employing or rewarding any evil spirit shall be held guilty of felony, and shall suffer death. And death will be her portion, for such demoniacal agency most assuredly hath she employed." The magistrate here paused for a moment to regard his audience, and reading in their terrified looks that his address had produced the desired impression, he continued with increased severity. "These wicked women shall trouble the land no longer. They shall be arrested and brought to judgment, and if you do not heartily bestir yourselves in their capture, and undertake to appear in evidence against them, you shall be held and dealt with as accessories in their crimes." Upon this, the hinds, who were greatly alarmed, declared with one accord their willingness to act as the magistrate should direct. "You do wisely," cried Potts, who by this time had made his way back to the assemblage, covered from head to foot with ooze, as on his former misadventures. "Mistress Nutter and the two old hags who hold you in thrall would lead you to destruction. For understand, it is the firm determination of my respected client, Master Roger Nowell, as well as myself, not to relax in our exertions till the whole of these pestilent witches who trouble the country be swept away, and to spare none who assist and uphold them." The hinds stared aghast, for so grim was the appearance of the attorney, that they almost thought that Hobhurst, the lubber fiend, was addressing them. At this moment old Henry Mitton came up. He had partially recovered from the stunning effects of the blow dealt him by James Device, but his head was cut open, and his white locks were dabbled in blood. Pushing his way through the assembly, he stood before the magistrate. "If you want a witness again that foul murderess and witch, Alice Nutter, call me, Master Roger Nowell," he said. "I can take my Bible oath that the whole face of this country has been changed since yesternight by her handiwork. Call me also to speak to her former life, to her intimacy with Mother Demdike and old Chattox. Call me to prove her constant attendance at Devil's Sabbath on Pendle Hill and elsewhere, with other black and damning offences, and among them the murder by witchcraft of her husband, Richard Nutter." A thrill of horror pervaded the assemblage at this denunciation, and Master Potts, who was being cleansed from his sable stains by one of the grooms, cried out "This is the very man for us, my excellent client. Your name and abode, friend?" "Harry Mitton o' Rough Lee," replied the old man. "I ha' dwelt these 70 years and upwards, and ha' known the feyther and grandfeyther o' Richard Nutter, and also Alice Nutter, when she were Alice Assheton. Call me, sir, and all you want to know you shall learn." "We will call you, my good friend," said Potts; "and if you have sustained any private wrongs from Mistress Nutter, they shall be amply redressed." "Ay, I ha' endured much at her hands," rejoined Mitton, "boh ey dunna speak o' myself. It be high time that Owd Scrat should have his claws clipped, and honest folk be allowed to live in peace." "Very true, my worthy friend, very true," assented Potts. An immediate return to Whalley was now proposed by Nowell, but Master Potts was of opinion that, as they were in the neighbourhood of Malkin Tower, they should proceed thither at once, and effect the arrest of Mother Demdike, after which Mother Chattox could be sought out and secured. The presence of these two witches would be most important, he declared, in the examination of Mistress Nutter. Hue and cry for the fugitive, James Device, ought also to be made throughout the forest. Confounded by what they had heard, Richard and Nicholas had hitherto taken no part in the proceedings, but they now seconded Master Potts's proposition, hoping that the time occupied by the visit to Malkin Tower would prove serviceable to Mistress Nutter, for they did not doubt that intelligence would be conveyed to her by some of her agents of Nowell's intention to arrest her. Additional encouragement was given to the plan by the arrival of Richard Baldwyn, who at this juncture rode furiously up to the party. "Well, ha' you settled your business here, Master Nowell?" he asked, in breathless anxiety. "We have so far settled it, that we have established proofs of witchcraft against Mistress Nutter," replied Nowell. "Can you speak to her character, Baldwyn?" "Ay, that ey con," rejoined the miller, "and nowt good. I wish to see these mischievous witches burned, and that's why I ha' ridden after you, Master Nowell. I want your help and a magistrate against Mother Demdike. You are a constable wi' her, and so can arrest her at once." "You have come most opportunely, Baldwyn," observed Potts. "We were just considering whether we should go to Malkin Tower." "Then decide on't," rejoined the miller, "or th' owd hag will escape you. Tak her unawares." "I don't know that we shall take her unawares, Baldwyn," said Potts; "but I am decidedly of opinion that we should go thither without delay. Is Malkin Tower far off?" "'Bout a mile fro' Rough Lee," replied the miller. "Go back wi' me to th' mill, where you can refresh yourselves, and I'll get together some dozen of my friends, and then we'll go up to t' tower together." "A very good suggestion," said Potts, "and no doubt Master Nowell will accede to it." "We have force enough already, it appears to me," observed Nowell. "I should think so," replied Richard. "Some dozen men armed against a poor defenceless old woman are surely enough." "Oh, boh nah defenceless, Mester Ruchot," rejoined Baldwyn. "Yo canna go wi' too great force on an expedition like this. Malkin Tower's a very strong place, as yo'n find." "Well," said Nowell, "since we are here, I agree with Master Potts that it would be better to secure these two offenders.
and convey them to Whalley, where their examination can take place at the same time as that of Mistress Nutter. We therefore